Hello. Hello.
Julie, how
Hi.
are you?
I'm all
Good.
right. How are you?
I'm very good. It's such an honor, so amazing to speak to you.
And where are you dialing in from? Down under.
Yes, Melbourne, Australia. Um, we've just got to many days now of zero COVID numbers, and so we're getting to get out, and places are open. It's a very
Hey,
different vibe now.
Scott, before we get started, I'm going to get a photo of you guys, okay? So you guys are going to look at the camera real quick and smile. I'm going to count down from 3. All righty? 3,
Perfect.
2, 1. All right, you guys are good.
So did you say Melbourne you're in, Scott?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. My friend's daughter is living in Melbourne, so I'm very familiar with what's been going on there. All the lockdown that's gone on, and it's been really quite extreme, hasn't it? Sorry, that was my Alexa that was talking to me then. She suddenly decided to chip in.
He's very friendly. It's always nice to know somebody's listening.
Yeah, even if it's Alexa. Yeah, so no, I love Melbourne. I did the Melbourne Comedy Festival, 10 years ago now.
Excellent. Wow. And I'm such a fan of Willy Wonka, and especially that one musical number that you did. Like, I want the world, I want the whole world. I would say that I've probably never seen acting like that.
Well, bless you. Thank you. Gooses, geeses. I want my geese to lay gold eggs for Easter. At least 100 a day. And by the way, there you go.
Thank you. Yeah. I didn't expect that. That's awesome. I'm really happy. And you do psychotherapy?
I do. Yeah. I quit show business about 12 years ago, trained to be a therapist, and I have been managing a counselling service for cancer patients for the last 5 years. So that's what I do now. That's my day job. And, I always look forward to little trips to go and do little Wonka gigs wherever I can. And that's my kind of escapism. So, yeah.
Absolutely. And it's perhaps the gift that keeps on giving as well.
It's what we're sort of saying is how lucky are we in a movie that was 50 years ago. 50 years ago we made this thing. And, people are still talking about it, still enjoying it. It's fantastic to be part of something that brings a smile to so many people's faces. It's lovely.
Quite a thing. I've been doing clinical hypnotherapy for 10 years, helping people with addiction.
Right.
And teaching and stuff. And it's such a good time with the internet and everything at the moment, just to get messages out there, tell stories, trainings, and kind of be on topic and basically help people in a way that's, I suppose, hasn't really existed with the connectivity that we've got today.
Yeah.
Even it's kind of weird to think that people are doing AA meetings in VR.
Yeah.
And for a counselor to think about that, it'd be like, well, that just sounds a little bit weird.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's kind of it's new times.
Yeah, it is.
Especially with COVID, we're forced into.
It is a fantastic tool. It's a fantastic resource. Yes, it would be nice to be face to face, but when we can do this, and connecting up with a bunch of people all over the world, that's technology. That's pretty good stuff. It's great that we can do that. It's great that I can see my friends, and the family as well. You're thinking, okay, I don't get to see my granddaughter. My daughter had a baby last Christmas and last December. Yeah, so I'm now a grandma. But at least I can see her on the camera, and I can talk to her and wave, and we sing little songs. So it's been great. But you're right, for therapy, it's been a great tool. Some people prefer to have a little bit of distance between them. Being in the same room with somebody, for some people, can be quite uncomfortable.
Absolutely, because we can either recharge as an extrovert or an introvert, and sometimes omnivert or whatever that's called. But yeah, it's nice. I think we crave to be with others, because people in solitary confinement, it's hard. And I guess with COVID, it's the whole world's been in solitary confinement.
Yeah.
And then we've got that extrovert side.
if we're talking sort of, therapy here, some people are saying that the people that coped best with COVID were the people that had anxiety, because there was no pressure on them to go out. They didn't have to do things they didn't want to do. They didn't have to socialize. Everybody was in the same boat. So, and for, people with anxiety are wondering, oh my God, what's going to happen? What's going to happen? It happened. So the worst happened and they're okay. So the people that had clinical anxiety did better.
It is kind of interesting that silver lining that, yeah, like absolutely, like if anxiety is like a future thing and depression is like almost a past focus or something, it's kind of like, well, past the point, what else is there? And yeah, absolutely, it's we roll the dice, I suppose. Like when something new happens, I guess like our human instinct is to try to solve everything at first, but after a while it's kind of like we start to almost lean in, and sometimes we're like, we don't want to get out of lockdown. Well, for the economy, perhaps want to get out, but also for health. But it's tricky because I like to think like a potted plant. You take a potted plant out of the soil and put it somewhere else, and it's stressful. But then if you take it back out of where it was and put it in some original place, that's like a secondary change almost.
Yeah, another trauma.
Versus they might just go like, hey, I just adjusted to the previous one.
Yeah. And I think that's what's been happening is with each stage, you go into lockdown. Okay, I know what I'm doing now. I know how I can get my, it took a couple of weeks or whatever. I can get my job done. I moved everything. I retrained to be a cyber therapist. I did all sorts of stuff, moving the whole service, all my team online. Okay, we know what we're doing now. I know where I can get my food. I can walk. I've got woods near me with my dog. I've got Netflix. I'm okay. I'm going to be safe. And then, no, now we're coming out. It's like, oh my God, now how do I come out? And now I've got to join the world again. And so we jump from stage to stage, and that can be quite scary.
Yes, and it's interesting that just 6 months before COVID, all of these services started coming about.
Yeah,
that would perfectly serve COVID, like whether not, like, I mean, Netflix was earlier, but food delivery and all of the multiple companies that do it, and anything that almost keeps you at home. It's like the technology already existed. I guess like in 100 years ago, Spanish flu and stuff, that completely different challenge back then. Perhaps less social media pressure, kind of like less, I suppose, social pressure to try to get everything right all the time. But we kind of like, our homes are kind of amazing for the introvert. And then if we can get our needs met as an extrovert as well, sometimes creatively, like whether it's through Zoom or with VR helmets, like I've just had like, well, this is one of them, if you can see that. But
my son does racing with that and everything. But it is interesting. So there have been some good things that came out of COVID. We've spent more time with our family. You reevaluate what's important to you. I haven't gone for retail therapy for a long time. Who cares? I haven't bought it, what's the point in buying a new pair of shoes? I'm never going to wear them. So we're working out what's important and the things that matter to you, and reconnecting with nature and the people that we care about.
Absolutely. Like chasing a meaningful pursuit, I would sort of suppose that means that you wake up the next day and you say, I'm happy that I did it. Because I guess like anything that's non-meaningful, like addiction would be, you don't wake up the next day and say, I wish I had more drinks last night. I wish I smoked last night. Like that doesn't happen.
No.
But it's but again, like it's so nice to meet you and talk to you after all this time, like, watching this show like just so many times.
Well, I'm thrilled you're dialing in from Melbourne anyway. It's a beautiful city. I had a lovely time there. I really loved it. Walking over the bridge, Flinders, and having a Carlton Pot at the, what's the pub that's on the corner there?
Young and Jackson, is it?
Yeah, I think it is. And, going to Aussie rules football, I enjoyed. Is it the Telstra Dome, is it? That's whatever it was. Is it that? I can't remember.
Yeah, that might be what it's called now.
Right. And I used to go to St Kilda on a Sunday morning, which I really used to enjoy.
Yeah, Luna Park and everything that's there.
Luna Park, great stuff. And the botanical gardens as well. I used to go running around the botanical gardens every morning. That was my exercise, to run around the gardens. But yeah.
Oh wow.
So I love Melbourne. So you live in a beautiful place, and you got some good wine there too.
Yes, you know you're Melbourne, and some good coffee, I think, too.
Yes, you're a lot of coffee shops. Yeah.
Yeah, out regional, we've got so many, vineyards. My parents now live out that way, close to lots of like vineyards.
Yeah.
Cheese for the day, and cheese and wine.
Yeah,
Hills, it's just beautiful.
I remember going to Healesville. Is it Healesville, the animal sanctuary that's sort of outside the town? And yeah, so you've got some beautiful places there.
Absolutely, so, we're blessed.
Well, so I hope anyway. Let's hope that everything subsides for you. It looks like things are going in the right direction. We're facing another little mountain to climb at the moment, but hey, we'll get there. We'll get there.
Absolutely. Masks.
Yeah.
And just doing our part. Like it's tricky, and anyone who finds it hard, it is hard. It's very tricky.
Yeah. It's tough times, but we've had pandemics before. We had the Black Death way back in the 1600s, and you forget that with William Shakespeare they closed all the theatres down for 2 years. So we've done it before.
We have, and I suppose it is good to look at it in that way, through that lens of that. We're a pretty resilient race. Like out of we can go to the equator, the poles, the moon, Mars, perhaps soon. I think that's happening.
Yeah.
We're a fairly robust species.
Yeah. Just got to sort out our dreadful politicians. Theirs over in the States and mine in the UK. Oh.
I agree with you 100%. We're all looking for the right things. Like I think that we need to be kind, we need to be polite, we need to have patience with people.
Yeah.
I feel I feel the fastest path forward perhaps might be the most patient path forward. Sometimes.
Yeah.
Because it's a tricky.
If we're talking therapy as well, we never go back to the complete starting place. You do this spiral rather than a full circle. So we'll see where we end up, and let's hang on to the good, and we'll discount all the bad. So keep up the good work, and keep it up, and stay safe and well, and wear your mask, wash your hands, and keep your distance.
I'll be doing those things. And in VR, it's interesting how we don't have to worry about that stuff.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah. But it's been such an amazing experience for getting to chat to you. Better let you go.
Thank you. Yeah,
thank you.
With you. All right then, you take care.
Yeah, you too.
Bye-bye, Scott. Bye.
See you later.
Bye-bye.